Hello soul buddies, welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Precious, but my students call me Auntie P. So this is the continuation of the front bodice pattern. Welcome to Sew with Auntie P. So now let's wrap the front part of the pattern. So now coming to the pattern edge at the top. Before we do that, let's measure our half length. Now this is our extended half length line from the back. It's still the same thing. Just measure your 17, at least one more spot, and then it will help link it up to the one at the back. So get your straight line, and then you come down, you measure your 8 inches. So you can just measure your 8 inches from the waistline and connect to the front hip line to also, and then you have your straight line. So after measuring your half length and hip line, you can label it so that you don't forget. So this is my waist line and this is my hip line. So that's that. So now we'll come to the top of the paper and we'll measure our neck, which is 3 inches, 3 by 3 inches. So you measure 3 inches on the top, and you measure 3 inches to the down. You can also measure another 3 inches at the side here to help you get your neck. So like I said, you measure 3 by 3. If you want a round neck, you measure another 3 in the middle, and this is your round neck. But if you want it as oval and you don't want it touching the other 3, you measure it here. But anyways, all of this doesn't really matter because you're still going to adapt the pattern to whatever design and whatever taste you want to. Remember, this is the foundation on which every other pattern is built. So we're working on the foundation. So let's continue now. After getting your 3 inches here, remember our shoulder is 7.5. So if you measure your 7.5 from here, or you measure 4.5 from the neck here, either way. But remember, all these markers still take space. So that is one thing you should know. So now from that point, measure 1 inch down. After measuring 1 inch down, you come here, the neck edge here, and connect to that 1 inch. Remember, we measured 1 inch. Connect to that 1 inch. Now to be sure of where your shoulder is actually falling, you come to this neck edge and measure 4.5. So this is where your shoulder, this is where your shoulder stops. Okay, so now after doing that, yeah, you might think we will just come here and extend this bust line just the way we extended the waistline and extended the hip line. No, that's not how it works at the front. Now you come to the back pattern. Come to the back pattern. Remember when we measured from the waistline to the shoulder line, 15 inches, we divided into 2, added extra 1 to get 8.5 for the upper part. The remaining from the bust line to the waistline, we had 6.5. So now the 6.5 we have here is what we are using at the back now. At the front, sorry, at the front. The 6.5 we have at the back is what we are bringing to the front. Now 6.5, measure your 6.5. Now remember that the front length is 17 inches and the back length is 15 inches. Now when you subtract the back length from the front length, what do you have? 17 minus 15, you have 2 inches. Now after measuring your 6.5 here, add that extra 2 inches to it, which will give you 8.5. Come here, measure another 8.5 so that you can get a straight line. Rule across. Okay, rule across. Now if you measure from this is now your bust line. Remember, now if you measure from your bust line up to your shoulder line, you have 8.5. 8.5 divided by 2, just the way we did for the back, we have 4 1/4. Measure at least 2 points so that you can get a straight line. And now this is going to be your across chest line. I hope you understand. So this is your across chest line. Now let's start placing our measurement. We already have all our horizontal measurement. It's now time to place their accurate measurement. Now your across chest measurement, according to our book, measurement here is 12 inches. 12 divided by 2 will give you 6 inches. So you come here from this paper edge, from the center front, measure 6 inches. Sorry, 6 inches, not 6.5, 6 inches. You come to your bust line. Your bust is 36 divided by 4, which is 9. Insert 9. Then remember to add your ½ inch for ease. Okay, so after inserting your across chest, inserting your bust measurement, now it's time to insert your hip measurements and link. So you come to the hip line and then you insert your hip measurement, which is 40 divided by 4, which is 10. Okay, just make sure, I hope you can actually see what I'm doing. Good. So you put your 10 inches here. After inserting your hip measurements, connect your hip to the bust in a straight line. Okay, in a straight line. Okay, so after doing that, it's time for us to carve out our armhole. Get your set square, just like we did for the back. Bring your set square to where you marked your across chest line point measurement, and make sure it aligns with the bust line, and then rule from the shoulder to the bust line in a straight line. Now after ruling that, bring in your armhole curve, place it in a way that the armhole curve would align with the bust line and your across chest point. Now this is consistent practice. Some of my students still draws me map of Africa in the process of curving their armhole. So I don't expect you to get it once, but the more you practice, the more better you will get with it. So now from the across chest point, connect to your shoulder point. See how beautiful it looks, but it's not edible. So the next thing we're going to do is to insert our dart suppression. So we can insert our dart line and then our side seam line. So now coming in with our tape, the first thing, remember that on the back, on the bust line we measured our bust point, but now for the front we have a bust span. The bust span is usually measured from the shoulder, the neck edge, to the highest point of the bust. So the back there's no bust, so that's why we did not use any bust span, but the front there is bust. So come in with your bust. Now from this neck edge, from the neck edge or the top of your paper, insert your bust span measurement. What is your bust span measurement? It is 10. Mark 10 at least in 2 places. After marking 10 in 2 places, come in with a straight ruler and connect it okay, from the center front to the side seam. Okay, so after connecting, on the bust span line now, come and insert your bust point measurement, which is 7 divided by 2, 3.5. So you have 3.5 on that bust span line, and then you come to your hip line also and measure your 3.5. I hope we understand. Now after measuring, getting the 2 points, come in with your straight ruler and connect the 2 points together. Do you understand? So after connecting these 2 points now, the next thing to do is to share our darts. First thing first, the bust dart. The bust dart, remember that if you are looking at our pattern now, at least you can see the side of the back and the side of the front. You can see that the front pattern is looking longer than the back pattern. Okay, so remember that we added one extra 2 inches here, which we took out from the back. We're adding it here. So you come in and from this bust span line, measure your 2 inches. After measuring it, come in with your straight ruler and connect it to your bust point line. Okay, so this is your bust dart. This is your bust dart. Now the next one we are going for, this is your bust dart. Bust dart. Oh, sorry, bust dart, which is 2 inches. Now, different people with different bust span measurements. Different people with different bust span measurement, different people with different bust point measurement, different people with different half length measurements. So your half length and the difference between your half length and your back length is what determines the size of your bust dart. Please note that not everybody use 2 4. 2 inches is basic. Some people is 3, some people is 4. Depends on their body shape and their bust size. So please note that. Now using this measurement that I gave you, which is like a basic for size 10, this is how it looks. So now let's go into our dart suppression. Okay, so our dart suppression is sharing the excess we have on the waistline in between our dart and our side seam. Remember earlier we had 1 3 2 1/4 as our excess. Now this is our half waist measurement, which is 7.5. 30 divided by 4, 7.5. Reminder, waist measurements. Okay, so now this is it, and this is what we have left. So if you still subtract your 9 3/4 from, so you subtract 7.5 from 9 3/4, we have 2 1/4. Now to share the 2 1/4, now we are not contouring the center front unless you are making a garment that has an opening at the front. But if you are making a garment that doesn't have an opening at the front, that doesn't have a seam at the front center front line, you don't need to contour, you don't need to add your dart suppression to the center front. So we are going to be sharing it at the dart and the waistline. Now we have 2 1/4. How do we share it into 3 portions and it will be correct? It's not up to 3 inches, so we cannot share 1 inch. Okay, so we have 2 3/4. Then if we take 3/4 3/4, if we take 3/4 3/4, it will give us 1.5, and we will be left with 3/4. So automatically, if we share everything in 3/4, we'll have an accurate figure. So now come here, put in your 3/4. Come here, put in your 3/4 of an inch on one side of the dart leg. Put another 3/4 on another side of the dart leg. Now connect the new dart leg to the hip line. Do the same for the other side. I hope you're seeing. I hope my hand is not obstructing anything. Now do the same thing from the bust point to the waistline. Now from the hip line, you will connect to the waistline. But before you connect this part, you need to fold your bust dart. You don't just connect. If you just connect I'm going to do something so that you will see it. I'm going to use a different color marker so that you can see what happens when you just connect without folding your dart. So now I'll be coming in with this pink marker. To just roll from the waistline to the bust edge line without folding my dart leg, my bust dart. Now let's fold the bust dart and let's see what happens. So I'll need to turn this so that it will be more comfortable. So now coming in here, I'm not going to be using this color anymore, so let me cover it. So coming in here, let's fold our dart leg. Take patience, slowly. Remember what I said about the white pattern paper and the brown one. The white one is not as rigid as the brown one, so be careful when you're folding on the white one. Now fold it in a way that you see the way it's looking flat and her lines. If I'm to push this out, this is how it will look. It's already giving me the shape of my bust. So now let me come in with my tracing wheel. So now using my tracing wheel, or before I come in with my tracing wheel, let me now connect the waistline to the bust line. Now let me connect from this waistline, I hope you can see this, to the bust line. Okay, so after connecting, I will come in with my tracing wheel. The bust dart point, that is just the only part where I am tracing. I need to trace it so that by the time I open my dart back, I can see the shape my bust dart is taking. Can you see it? Can you see it now? That is the essence of using your tracing wheel. So now I'll come in with my marker pen and then follow the tracing wheel to get the shape of my bust dart. Now this was the first line, so assuming I just rolled from the waist to the bust without folding my dart, can you see the allowance that I've cut out of my pattern? Look at all the things that I would have cut out of my pattern. It is actually part of my pattern. I would have cut it out, and then when I finish sewing, it will not be the same. So always fold your bust dart before you link your waistline to your bust line on the front. Please, I hope you understand. So now this is my pattern. It is complete. I just need to put little labels. This is my side front, which is also called SF, and this is my center front, and it's always mostly on fold. So whenever you see this shape, it's on fold. Okay, it's on fold. So that is my front pattern. Now let's label the back pattern. So this is my CB, which is center back, and this is my side back, which is my SB, and this particular point is my side seam. Okay, this is my side seam, and the front also had side seam. Okay, so this is just the label you need to do on your pattern. I hope with this little point of mine, I have been able to convince you and not to confuse you.
Marker is for advanced learners, because if you make errors using marker, you would have to start all over again. So as a beginner, I will always advise you,
please,
to use
the
your
marker
pencil.
is
So when
for
you make an
advanced
error
learners,
which is acceptable, you can always erase and correct your mistakes. So If you have not seen the first part of this video, which is the back pattern, I will drop the link in the description box. If you have any question concerning this particular pattern, please drop it in the comment section and I will sure get back to you with the answers. So if you are a returning subscriber, thank you. If you're new, please subscribe, share this video, like, so that it will reach other people, and then turn on your notification bell so that when we post new things, you will be the first to get to know. Until I see you again, stay happy and stay blessed. Bye bye.